Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Welcome to Conversations with Cogee. You know, this is one of those shows today that we doing, and our heart's in it, our love's in it, and we definitely fighting the system, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that, the wrong people don't get accused of all these things that they've been going through. We've been seeing people in the news that's been falsely accused of upteen things. I mean, you name it, people have been falsely accused of it. Today is I've Been Falsely Accused, part 11. And like I said, I'm your host, Cogee. And let me tell you something, that I'm doing this show out of the love of my heart. I'm doing it for the community, and I'm definitely doing it for the underdogs, the people who's definitely been ran over, freight trained, framed, told what to say, just so, the police, certain police, I ain't saying all police, certain police can just make a case stick to get the case closed. Now, with that situation, this is what I want y'all to understand. Anytime you see a falsely accused man go down for something, you got to understand that it's the devastation of a family losing a father, a wife losing a husband, our fiance, our boyfriend, the last name being drugged through the dirt, children, not having nobody to look up to, and the role model that they look up to is being accused of something so heinous that they kind of ashamed to say, hey, that's my daddy. I brag on that they have a good daddy because of the circumstances that their dad is going through. I do this show out of love to let the police know that, hey, sometimes you can say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and that'll make the community love you even more and make the community feel like, you know what, we can trust the justice system, because if it's wrong, if it's flawed, they will apologize. You know what I'm saying? But what comes with apology is, you have to definitely look out for the people that you burnt. When you done falsely accuse somebody and you done put them away, and you done took 14 years from their life, like this young man that's going to come on my show in a minute, you know what I'm saying? You definitely got to give them a kickback. You got to help them get their life back on track, because half of them was already on their way getting their life on track. Half of them was doing something where they was holding down a steady job, doing something productive, to their lives and their families. But then when this conviction came, it stripped everything away and tore it down from them. So I want to go to my team real quick. Miss Peaches, how you doing today?
I'm doing really great, Cogee. I'm glad to be here with you on this important show.
Thank you, Miss Peaches. And you know what, Miss Peaches, let me do this real quick. Let me say what's up to my in-studio guest, the Fox. What's up, Foxy?
How you doing, Cogee?
I'm doing all right. So I'm going to ask you, Foxy, Miss Peaches, get ready with that information that I asked you to get for me today, because I want our listeners and everybody that, we definitely show his love to all around the world to give us much love. I want to say hello to you guys. I hope y'all got your pens and paper, because as y'all can see, I'm going hard today, and I mean that definitely, for our exonerees. Foxy, why is this show important to our community, and why should people definitely hook up with us and help push us forward, but also have our back and put this word out on their sites as well?
That's doing a good justice to the community, I believe. It's really important for the ones that are falsely accused.
Right.
They have an out. They have somebody that they can really depend on while they're in.
That's right. I hear you. Now, Miss Peaches, can you come with that information? Give me the definition of those two things that I asked you, please. And I want our community to listen to the definition of these two things I asked Miss Peaches for.
Okay, well, the definition of cover-up. Cover-up is an attempt to prevent people discovering the truth about a serious mistake or crime. So that's a cover-up, is an attempt to prevent people discovering the truth. So that's what happens a lot with our falsely accused. And then a false accusation, Cogee, is an accusation that is contrary to fact or truth. So you're accusing somebody falsely. It's to accuse means to make a charge of wrongdoing against another. Accusation can be a formal charge of criminal wrongdoing, like the kind that is presented in court. And it can also be an informal statement that a person has engaged in an illegal or immoral act.
Okay, there it is, definitely. Now, one thing, like I said, that really gets me is the definition of a lie. A false statement made with deliberate intent to deceive, an intentional truth or falsehood. And that's what a lot of these young men run into. But once they've been coerced into saying these certain things that, the law enforcement want them to say, then once they say it, they stuck. So whenever you get in a position like this, you should never say nothing until your attorney is present. If you a young child or a young teenager, you never say nothing until you have a parent in there with you. You ask them to tape record the situation. And on top of that, you have an attorney with you. Don't try to handle it and take it all in your hands. And, oh, well, I know that I'm innocent, so I can go ahead and I can say this and I can say that. No, you can't. No, you can't. If it ain't being recorded and an attorney ain't in there, no, you can't. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. I like my grandmother used to tell me, just hush. Just hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. Some people know it as shut up. Just shut up. However we can bring it to make you understand, be quiet. Say nothing. Silence until you have representation in there with you that can back you up and you not put in a corner. Because once you say something, once you sign that statement, it's a dog fight to get that off your name. So I want y'all to get ready today. We got a great show coming up. We got Kareem Bellamy. He'll be coming in right after this break. I can't wait to get this brother in. I mean, he's going to break down, everything that I'm talking about right now. And I hope he really understands my opening, and what I'm saying and what it stands for. I hope he know I fight for him out of love, him and the billions of people who's been falsely accused. Because let me tell you something, the way I look at it, God put us all on this earth for a reason. Sometimes we don't know what that reason is, but sometimes we just get nominated where we get passionate about a certain situation, and come to find out, that's what God put you here for. That's your passion to fight. That's your passion to be a stand-up person and help other people through their madness and their sadness and their times of trouble. And then you say, wow, this is coming so easy to me in my heart and in my mind to do this. That's how you know it's a gift. If you're not struggling to do it and it's coming so easy, that's a gift that God gave you. And you hook up with other people with the same gifts and you keep pushing and you keep doing God's work. I do your work or whoever you believe in. All right. So stay locked in, stay tuned in. We'll be right back.
Thank you, God. God bless you.
Kareem Bellamy says it's the happiest day of his life, set free after being convicted of stabbing a man to death more than 15 years ago in Far Rockaway.
I'm an innocent man. I had nothing to do with what happened.
Bellamy was convicted in 1995, but continued to insist he was innocent. A new team of attorneys and investigators took on his case in 2004, including a former FBI agent and a former NYPD officer. They say the DA's office didn't want to listen.
He was hell-bent on keeping Kareem in jail, and I think it was wrong. And I truly think, but I think he was innocent. I would never, ever have been involved in this case.
Lawyers say the most important new evidence was a 2008 confession made to a friend by the man they claim actually committed the crime. They say the same person confessed shortly after the murder, but it was never properly investigated. A state Supreme Court judge agreed to grant a new trial, but the Queens DA's office told the court under current laws, it could not successfully go to trial and convict Bellamy again. So it reluctantly asked for the case to be tossed out, but not before saying Bellamy is free because of a legal technicality.
Mr. Bellamy has now been freed from that conviction based on an outright fraud perpetrated against this court. He has not been exonerated.
What more proof do you need? They want James to come out the grave and say, he didn't kill me,
The defense team says dozens of people worked on this case for free. Otherwise, it would have required millions in legal fees. They say they found witnesses and evidence to prove Bellamy was innocent.
It's not only about Mr. Bellamy. It's about how people got together, saw a just cause, and totally committed themselves to undo this horrific wrong.
Bellamy says for all of the prisoners out there who say they are truly innocent, he says they should keep pushing forward to try to prove that. He says his case is evidence that it can happen. At State Supreme Court in Queens, Dean Meminger, New York 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We back. Welcome back to Conversations with Cogee. This is my I've Been Falsely Accused. Me and Jeffrey Deskovic, we both are doing this right now. Jeffrey comes in the last hour, everybody. Jeffrey's in school right now, law school, definitely learning and doing what all he need to do to help us move further in this situation. So a lot of love to Jeffrey out there. Jeffrey, hey, we can't wait till Jeffrey come in the last hour, and we definitely going to do it big. But this is me and Jeffrey show, and we definitely doing this and making sure that our exonerees, hey, are free, are helping them to get free, are giving them the knowledge to get free. That's what this show's about. So right now, I'd like to introduce Mr. Kareem Bellamy. How you doing today, sir?
good. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I want to thank you for being on the show today, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me today, definitely helping me fight, this bad situation that's going on all around the world for a lot of people. And I want to ask you, Kareem, what did you think about my opening statement when I opened the show and what all I was saying? Did I say anything wrong? Did I hit it on the nose? Did I offend you? Or did I make you feel any certain way?
First, I want to say I appreciate you allowing me to tell my story and what happened to me. I was listening. I was very touched. It was very emotional because, you hit it right on the head. It was strong, powerful. You didn't pull no punches, and that was exactly what happened, and that's what exactly goes on when somebody get convicted or falsely accused. So it was very powerful, and it was true. It was true.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And, like I said, I'm speaking from having a big heart, man. When I watch these interviews and I watch your stories and the other exonerees that's coming on today after you, my heart just goes out because it's like, man, how can you just snatch somebody's life like that and treat them like that and not think, nothing bad? See, this is what I truly believe in. I know some people don't believe in karma. I really believe that you might not have karma, but that bad situation that you put other people in and knowing you ruined their lives and you hurt their lives, I believe you have children. You have loved ones that you care about. I believe things come back in their lives, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be them accidentally kill somebody. Things happen, things do come back around in some kind of way. To those people that do that, it might not be deliberately through you, but it'll come to your family member. It'll come to somebody to give you a mirror of what you done deep in your heart. You know what you done to somebody. And then you have the nerve to sit there and go, why me? Why my family? Why not you? Why not your family? Look what you did back in 1976. Look what you did in 86 to somebody and shattered their life and destroyed them. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's really how I feel. I believe that if the justice system just say on some cases or a few cases, you know what? We made a mistake. We can say we made a mistake. We really own it to make sure that we find who done it. We give this person an apology. That would make the community a lot more softer to these situations because it's like, okay, well, they might have did something wrong, but they came back and they let this person right out. They gave them a kickback, to help them get their life back on track. But at least they will admit it and they won't stay behind and say, well, look, we felt like we did our job. Oh, well, he's out. Get over it. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Hold on, Kareem. Let me ask you this real quick. Once you tell somebody about your case and they go, oh man, come on, you still whining about that? You free. Get over it. Where does that take your mind to right there when you hear me say, get over it?
Well, it's the wrong thing to say to someone that went through so much. I'm still suffering, even though I've been out for a little while. I'm still suffering from the effects of my incarceration. It's not only physical; it's psychological. It's crazy to say that to someone that went through so much. It's a lot of pain that you got to go through, and it's a big fight to it's a big fight to get out. It took a lot. It took a lot of people. It took a lot out of me. Like I said, I'm still feeling the effects of that, and I think you don't never really get over it. It's always going, it gets better and better because, with everything, it gets better and better day after day, but you never really get over it. The effects always, so when someone says something like that, I think that's that's the wrong thing to say, and it's kind of insane. It's not right.
And it's very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
That's right. Kareem, let me ask you this. Let me let people in your mind for a minute. I want your mind right now to be a movie projector to the world. My show is streaming all over the world. Everybody can hear us. I want your mind right now to be a movie projector. Tell us some of the things we don't understand about what you went through in detail, real quick, in prison.
Sometimes it's undescribable. My life was in danger a few times. I got cut, I got stabbed. It's a lot of danger. But aside from that, you get through that. But being in that cell every day, caged in, can't get out, you know, it really tears you up. And then, along with that, I had 3 kids, and they were small when I left, so that really affected me a lot. That really tore me up. It just really painful. It's hard, you know, and not being or having to be going to cell every day, you know, it'll drive you. A lot of times, it'll drive you insane. It'll drive you crazy. I don't even know. Sometimes I feel I don't know how I made it through the time that I made it through, you know. But it's no fun at all. But I don't want to be funny. But it's psychological. It's a lot of pain, physical, mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
I hear you, my brother. You know what? And I do appreciate you giving me, you know, that little glimpse. I know it's emotional for you, you know what I'm saying, for me to ask you this. But I think if we can start helping people to see it a little bit, you know, inside the mind of you guys when y'all tell y'all story, people can start to soften up a little bit more and say, hey, we do need to stop believing everything we hear in the news because that's one-sided. And the news, they always got to make news. You get what I'm saying? It's got to be something so bad to keep you tuned into the news. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to be the part of the news that bring you a better side, a sunny side of y'all's situation. And I want to be y'all's voice of reason. And I want to be y'all's voice to speak out when y'all come through this show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate it. You're doing a great job of doing it too. And you are.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Bellamy. Why did you get put in jail for 14 years?
Well, it's so long story, but I'm gonna try to make it as clear as possible. I was accused of murder, and I was convicted of murder. So a childhood friend that I went to school with, actually me and him was okay. We wasn't really that good of friends, but we used to see each other because we lived in the same neighborhood. But anyway, one day I was in front of my building with a couple of my friends, and the detectives they rolled past because, you know, they ride a lot in my I live in a project, so they rolled past, and then they about 4 of them jumped out the car, pulled out their weapons, and they pointed it directly at me. So I said, "Wow, what is this about?" You know. So I was drinking beer at the time. You could drink in the public, but I wasn't drinking beer outside. Okay. But I got in the bed. I mean, I ain't got it, but they pointed the weapons at. I mean, they was threatening to shoot me. So they told me to get in the car. So I got in the car, and then you know, so I asked them what's the reason why, y'all put me in the car. So they said when they picked me up, they said you was drinking in public, and we're gonna give you a fine for drinking beer. And they took me to the precinct. And then, you know, when I went to the precinct, so I'm expecting to go. I'm thinking, you know, this is going to be over. But then one of the officers put a picture of a bloody guy on the table, and he was messed up. He was, you know, but they said, "Do you know this guy?" So I said, "Yeah, I know him because I recognized him from community with the junior high school." So they said, 2 people seen you kill this guy. So that's when I started getting hysterical. You know, at the time, I think I was 25 or 26. But then they said, we're going to, so I asked, could I call, you know, my family? So they said, no, you can't call anyone. We're going to put you in a lineup tomorrow. So at the time, I didn't really know nothing about the law. That's why when you was talking about having a lawyer and stuff, you're absolutely right. I didn't know nothing about the law at the time. I was kind of young, and I didn't know too much about, you know, the system. So I thought that you couldn't refuse the lineup. So they put me in a lineup, and then it went from there. After that, they said I got picked out. I just knew I wasn't gonna get picked out because I know I didn't do anything. I didn't kill anyone, you know. So I got picked out, and from there the story just went on. So you know, they gave me a lawyer. So I constantly told the lawyer that I had nothing to do with it, and I thought that eyewitnesses that they had picked someone out, because I heard voices, during the lineup. But I don't know if he took it serious or, he thought But anyway, I went to trial, and eventually I got convicted. I lost trial, and I got sentenced to 25 to life. But that's basically how it started out.
Right. Okay, thank you. You know what? And let me say this real quick, because I want to put something on somebody's mind. Now, I want everybody to understand, you somewhere, you just chilling or hanging out, just doing your thing. All of a sudden, the police ride up and they draw guns down there. You're going to go into an instant panic. That's going to make anybody go into an instant panic nowadays, because people are being shot down. One wrong move, it could be see you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Okay. In that frame of mind, when they ran up on you and they, got you like that, the first thing you thinking is, okay, well, I know I didn't do nothing. But in your head, you thinking, I just want this to be over with the quickness. Whatever I got to say or whatever I got to do to a certain extent, I just want it to be over. And I'm just asking you, Mr. Bellamy, do you think a lot of people who get caught up like that, did I hit it on the nose? Is that the first thing they thinking? How can I get this over with and out of my life? What do I need to say?
That's right. Absolutely. You hit it right on the point. It just sometimes, you can't just say anything, because they're going to use that against you.
You're right about that.
But I just wanted to know what was the reason. I'm glad I didn't make no force move and run or nothing. But I had no reason to run. I didn't do nothing, so. I did what the officer told me to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can't just say anything. Like you said, it's best to not really say too much of nothing, because you need a lawyer there, somebody there, because if you say something, they might twist it and use it against you.
That's right. And you know what? Another thing, I think, and I want everybody to hear this, I think whenever the police detain you, you have the utmost respect for yourself and you have class for yourself. You don't get to cussing. You don't get to wilding out. You don't get to calling them all kind of names, because that ain't going to help nothing. That's going to hurt everything. You say politely, this is not out of disrespect of you all, but I have nothing to say until my attorney come. It ain't that I'm going against y'all. I just feel that that's the right thing to do, because y'all got y'all whole crew in here, going against me right now, asking me questions, and I have nobody. So out of respect for me and my rights, and I know y'all are about doing y'all's job the right way, I will wait for my attorney. Thank you. What do you think about that, Mr. Bellamy?
That's the best way to go. If I think it's not as bad as it was when they got me, but it still happens.
Right.
Because, you got guys that's still coming out, but you gotta think before you
open your mouth.
Before you open your mouth, because they'll use things against you, or they may try to trick the witnesses. It's all types of stuff. It's all type of bad things they could do to you if you don't think right. But a lot of times you're very scared also. Because I was so scared, I didn't know. I thought it was a dream.
Right.
But
it's reality.
I fainted a couple of times. When they told me I got picked out, I fainted. Because I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
But,
oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, you know what, Mr. Bellamy, let me ask you this question. Why do you think there's so many wrongful convictions, and what is the cause for this? What's your take on it?
Well, my experience, I can only go by my experience and what I've seen. A lot of prosecutors and officers, they want to win at any cost, even if they got evidence proving that the guy is innocent, and then you got some guys that's plain out corrupt. They go over the top with their badge, and they feel like they could do anything to anybody, but that's basically it. They want to win. It's like a match.
Right. Yeah. You right
Instead
about
of, but if you had evidence, because they had, in my case, they had evidence that that was pointing to I probably didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they never
followed it up.
looked into it.
Yeah, followed it up.
No, they never followed it up. Exactly.
Right. Now, we're going to fast forward real quick. So when you went to court and you sat in there and you heard guilty, and that was the final guilty that they said, where did you go inside and mentally when you heard that?
Wow. I mean, you feel like I feel like I got shot, and I feel like I got killed, dead. I had it's on court TV because at the time we had it was a show called The System, so it was on TV, and I went off because I couldn't believe what was happening to me. I felt like I got killed, I got shot, I didn't even want to live no more at that time. I just lost it.
And take us to your first night in your cell.
Well, after I got convicted?
Yeah, after you got convicted, once you went back into your jail cell, tell me your first night in your jail cell compared to your first night in your prison cell.
Right. Well, what do you mean when I got picked out of the lineup?
Yeah,
or?
No, I'm saying when you went to court and you got convicted, when they said, you guilty.
Guilty, right.
Right, and you went to, after court, you go back into your holding cell. You get what I'm saying? And then you get ready to go to prison. When you went back into the holding cell, where was your frame of mind then? What was you thinking that you need to do? What went wrong? I mean, what was your thoughts then?
Well, I'm not going to say I wasn't thinking too much what I had to do. I was just devastated. I was drawn. You don't have, at that time, me personally, I didn't have no more energy. I was suicidal. I really was in bad shape. I was in bad shape because I felt that, my life was over. I had kids. I couldn't think. I was suicidal. I was in bad shape. I was messed up. I was, I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't, it took me a few weeks to decide how I was going to, turn this thing around. It took 9 years, but, that day when I got convicted, I just couldn't believe it because one lady on the jury, she was asleep. So I was like, there's no way she could convict me. She was asleep the whole trial. And I told her, the woman over here slept the whole, well, I was devastated, It was a terrible time.
Right.
When that happened.
Right. Now, even with the woman being asleep, if you had like the right attorneys, I ain't going to say the right attorneys, but whoever you had in your corner, if they could have just kept a camera or something on this lady's sleep, that's a mistrial right there. Am I right or wrong?
Right. Exactly. And, at the time, I didn't know too much about the law, but I knew that wasn't right. So,
yeah.
At the time, I told a lawyer about it, but he said, don't worry about it. So, I trusted him at the time. When you facing something like that, you try to put your trust in lawyers, that he's going to do the right thing,
Right. See, but see, that's why I tell all my listeners you need to try to learn the law, because one thing about me, what I know of the law, but when I'm fighting for my life, you better believe I'm gonna watch everything, because I'm that kind of person. Now, it ain't that I'm just looking for the mistrial, because if it ain't right, it just ain't right anyway. So if you can get a mistrial and get it over with without going through all that stress and going through being suicidal and all, it's best for it to be over with, because in this life, you have to fight for yourself first. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
And I know where you're coming from. I definitely know where you're coming from. Okay, but let me ask you this. Let people know in your own words, Mr. Bellamy, what does a wrongful conviction do to your relationships, your family, your friends, your respect in the neighborhood, everything? What does it do to all that?
Well, it destroys. It destroys your relationship. Mostly with your kids, because the kids is looking up to you as a father. My mother, my brothers and sisters, you know. And I mean, some of the things that took place in their life, I think if I was around, it probably wouldn't have happened because I was a strong influence on my family.
Right, I hear you.
But my kids, to this day, my son, because we have no bondage, and you know, I'm really messed up with my kids right now because, you know, because of the incarceration, you know, what took place and what happened to me. And my mother, you know, she was kind of well, but when I got out, she was sick. You know what I mean? So,
right.
It's devastating. You know, it messes up the family. You know, sometimes when you have, you know, a brother or a sister and they took it out, you know, it takes a toll on the family, a big toll.
That's right. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. But, you know, this is what I'm trying to get my audience to understand. When it comes to the head of the household being, you know, taken out of the house, man, that devastates the whole movement of everything that parent was probably teaching his children because he's not around to stay up on it with them and to help them through this world. What you think about that?
Right. Well, you know, I tried to do the best I could to try to explain to my son, you know, because he was, you know, he's a young man. I'm trying to teach him how to be a man. You know, I did my best to try to explain to him what took place with me. But it's very hard when you're not there, you know, and, you know, to be there for him when he needs you, you know. You know, yeah, but when you took it out the family, you know, it breaks the family down, you know. You know, certain things that wouldn't have happened if you was there, it happens, you know. It destroys everything, you know.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. Let me ask you something. How has it been, your transitioning back into the society?
Well, you know, when I left, they had tokens. So,
oh, wow.
When I came back, they had these metro cards, and sometimes I would be in front of the machine, and it would take me at least 15, 20 minutes to, you know, because everything was so fast-paced. And, you know, when I left, they had different types of phones. You know, it just the technology was, you know, really advanced. But fitting back into society, you know, when you do so much time, a lot of people, I know I went through it, you feel overwhelmed, you know, because everything in jail is really slow and everything on the outside is really fast. So my situation was, I wasn't really prepared, and, you know, I'm down on myself for that, for coming out, and I thought it would be, you know, all you got to do to get me out hard, just get out and, you know, take it from there. But it's not like that. You know, you go through a psychological, you know, way where you can't really, you feel like you can't function. I really felt that I told my lawyer, I felt that I couldn't function, and for a little while, you know.
Right.
And so it takes a little while for you to try to you know, to blend back into society.
Right.
Know?
And Mr. Bellamy, let me ask you this real quick. I jumped ahead of myself. I'm on fire for the show today. How did you get exonerated? Real quick.
Well, this is a good story too. I would write any and everybody. I mean, I didn't care if you was a lawyer. I didn't care what type of law you did. I would write you, and I used to write. I just randomly pick lawyers out, and I wrote. I seen the advertisement in Amsterdam News. I don't know if you know, but anyway, I wrote a lawyer in there, and I told him about my situation, and I told him I took a lie detector test, and I told him that I was innocent, and you know, I think by God's will, he looked in. He ain't looked into it. He said, you know, because I had those I had the videotapes from court TV, so they thought it was a wrongful conviction too. So they helped me out a little bit. And they gave me tapes of the trial. So what I did was I told the lawyer about it, and he said, "Well, I'm not going to take your case, but I'll take a look and see what you're talking about." So you know, he took a look, and you know, he seen when something wrong went there, and you know, it went from there. You know, but I used to write a lot. I wrote so many lawyers, you know, you get some that says, we see what you're talking about, but a lot of them say we're overstaffed. It took me 9 years to finally get someone to hear me out.
Right. So how's it been? Have they compensated you in any kind of way?
Actually, no. They're trying. I mean, they trying all types of little tricks. Yeah, well, I wasn't exonerated. This and that. I got out on the change of the law. So it's another battle me and my lawyer got. We got to fight again. You know what I mean? For to get anything back for what happened to me. But we fighting though. But God's will work out for me.
Oh, you definitely right about that. Now let me ask you this. Now, even though they saying you got out on this so-called technicality because the law changes, but you wasn't exonerated, but still they took your life away for 14 years. So they saying your life is nothing. It means nothing to them over the case. Basically.
Right, exactly. That's what they said. They said, well, you're out, like you said in the beginning of your show. You're out, be happy, get over it, They had a chance. They could have took me to trial. I mean, but it's nothing to take a trial on.
Right.
They don't have any evidence. Well, we have overwhelming evidence that I didn't do it. They have no evidence that I did do it, but I'm still guilty. I didn't understand that at all.
Right. I mean, that's very sad. You know what? Let me do this real quick, Mr. Bellamy. I want you to give words of encouragement to our listeners right now about being falsely accused and what they need to do to just try to just stay away from anything that got to do with anything you can be accused of. You get what I'm saying? You know how like a lot of these young guys now, they sag in, and that's a reason to get they getting harassed. Half of them are hanging in packs and cliques, just riding and smoking weed with the window down and music up loud. I mean, a lot of things that we do bring on ourselves, but a lot of things that we don't deserve if we don't put ourselves in that position. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. But, it's like you said, you were saying, it's good to have, if you get in a situation where you get pulled over by a cop or officer, you may, it's good to, to shut up. Don't try to fight the officer, because something could happen worse than getting locked. You could lose your life.
That's right.
But it's good to have a lawyer. Try to get a lawyer present so you won't end up in a situation like me and a lot of others. Because sometimes once they get you, some officers, that are not good. When they get you in the precinct, you don't know if you're coming home or not. You're going to leave or not.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. But, that's why I said, man, with your story, I want to be the first to say, man, my heart goes out to you. And I hope I'm showing you right now by what I'm trying to do to educate other people not to get in that situation, but how to just stay away from trouble altogether. Like I said, I feel like I'm put on this earth to be the bond of glue to keep people together and away from situations than to be a troublemaker. You get what I'm trying to say? Being a troublemaker don't solve nothing. I want to be, a person that, I really try to solve situations and help other people through their situations where the police won't have no situations to deal with. Because if people are being taught the right way and people know the right things to do, we can keep down a lot of crime. We can keep down a lot of these shootings, and we also can keep down a lot of, false incarcerations. What you think about that?
You're absolutely right. I love the way you speak, but that's true. It's so many. A lot of these young guys, and I talk to them. A lot of these young guys, and that's anybody for that matter. Life is already, could be hard. You don't need to create problems and trouble for yourself, by doing things that is going to get you locked up or get your freedom taken away.
That's right.
people need to hear the message that you're giving them, about, people staying out of trouble, staying away from trouble, try to do something with your life, stay in school, and not, wasting time or getting locked up, It's nothing, it's nothing to that.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. And, it goes back to, I hate that it has to be examples like you and Jeffrey and a lot of people that I'm working with right now, that y'all got to be the example of what can happen. But with being the example of what can happen, I also want y'all to have y'all's kickback, because it's almost like, okay, well, if you're going to use me as a poster boy for what's wrong to make your case, go through and close your case, well, use me as a poster boy to say, I'm sorry, and this is what happened out of you being sorry for taking my life away. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, definitely. And that's another thing that really hurt me because nobody apologized to me. Nobody said I'm sorry for what happened. And, it was outright wrongful conviction. I don't even know what more you need. But nobody apologized for me, saying, well, we're sorry for taking you away from your children. We're sorry away from you for ruining your life. And they're not going to say I'm sorry. Matter of fact, they say we did nothing wrong, and when it's clearly that you did.
We just did our job.
Yeah, but apology would be nice. I mean, a kickback would be nice, but apology would be something great too.
Right. I understand. I hear you. Well, hey, that's what we fighting for. Like I said, if we can't get no money, just if they could tell y'all, hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, that'll ease the pain a little bit, but it won't take back y'all's time that y'all lost. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You right about that.
But another thing I would like to add, right? The people that was helping me and was putting a lot of time and money and just fighting so hard, they was being attacked also. Right. Anybody that tried to help me, they was being attacked.
Right.
My lawyer, he was being attacked. They wanted to take his license because he was trying to do something right. You know what I mean? It was some people that stepped in on my case. They was doing the right thing, and they was being attacked. But the other side was doing all types of things that wasn't right, and it was okay.
And everybody that helped you, they helped you for free, pro bono.
For free, yes, they did.
Wow.
They took a chance on me.
That's a blessing, man.
They spent a lot of money. It's a shame to say this. They spent a lot of money. It went up into, and if that type of money wasn't spent, I probably would still be in jail.
Well, we definitely want to thank the higher power, man, for those people. And I mean that, definitely. Definitely. I mean, because like I said, when I heard that they did it for you pro bono, for free, just because they believed in you, I was blown away. Now, not blown away because that's something you don't see all the time. Everybody don't have that story. You get what I'm saying?
I know a lot that don't have it.
Right. But you know what? Now, see, we on short time right now. And what I'm going to do, my producer, I want you to stay on the phone. She's going to talk to you, and I'm going to talk to you after the show because I definitely want to, we got to do this again. Because we didn't have a lot of time to really go deep into stuff about the people that fought for you. So we're going to do this again, okay?
That's my pleasure. My pleasure. I'll be glad to do it anytime.
Okay, man. So I just want to say I thank you. I'm glad you was on the show today. But, hey, we are far from over, me and you. And, we definitely going to help get this word out there because we just want to, help get our youth, man, on track. That's all I want to do is get them on track and keep them away from trouble. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you having me, giving me the opportunity to tell my story. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it so much.
All right, man. Thank you.
You do an excellent job. Strong, very strong.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And you stay on the line, okay? Don't hang up.
All right.
All right. So, everybody, that was Mr. Kareem Bellamy, who's definitely, like I said, he's out and free right now. He's an exoneree. Man, I thank God he was here telling his story. Stay locked in. We'll be right back. We got more to come.